There.
That's a good one. Oh, he's good. Yeah. Good job. You got him right in the right spot, too. Hey everybody, we're here on Kentucky Lake. It's the end of April. It's about April 23rd, 24th, somewhere along there. I lose track of my days. And with me today, we have Ben. And Ben, first off, you have a guide service. Tell us a little bit about it, how long you've been guiding and all that, okay?
Well, you can check out the website at parkersoutfitting.com. And we do a lot of things. We guide all over West Tennessee, duck hunting, bass fishing, and also do another thing where I teach people how to use their electronics, more specifically with the Humminbird side scans, and that's gone over very well.
I tell you what, that's got to keep you fairly busy through the year. I mean, because I know myself as a fisherman, I want a side scan, but I don't know how to use it, and I don't have a whole lot of time to spend inside somebody's workplace talking over it. Mm-hmm. But you offer that as a service that mm-hmm. people can purchase for the day or half day or whatever, mm-hmm. so that you can teach them more about it, right?
Absolutely. What it'll do is actually put you a couple years ahead from just getting a new unit. You know, the electronics are a lot like getting a new computer, and some people, you know, it can be a bit overwhelming. So, you know, either putting people on the right track or explaining what crappie mats and brush piles and fish look like on a side scan or any kind of side imaging unit is what I really enjoy doing it. It's just like a guide trip.
Well, I tell you what, we did not have the side imagery today, but Ben, we had a good time out here.
The lake is alive, and I don't cull anything.
It's like the 23rd, 24th of April. Fish have been spawning now for about how long?
I've noticed that some fish on beds for the last 3 weeks, and I think that'll continue another month at least, you know, different waves coming in and out. The thing that made it very different today is that we're almost at the end of April, but the water's not yet at summer pool or high at, you know, a little over summer pool. And at that time, people still like to be flipping bushes, you know, especially when the water's up. But when the water's down, doesn't mean those fish aren't spawning. No. They're just spawning in places that people don't realize.
It gets discouraging because they can't see them spawn sometimes.
Sure.
But now, you and I, we got to visually see some spawning bass.
Sure, and when you get into less than a foot of water and you see a 6-pounder swim by the boat,
yeah, like
they're not there for any other reason.
Tell us a little bit about what we use today and how people can, you know, they can use this from now for all the spawning season. But, you know, typically a lot of people flip jigs and lizards and things like that. We downsized.
Sure, absolutely. There's not a lot of water in the bushes, and you have little scattered pieces of lay down and brush and wood that stick off in the water. And when you have those kind of scenarios, I like to use, you know, one of the many different types of Yum tubes available. I kind of like the smaller versions of tubes, especially when I'm flipping in real heavy cover, because they're smaller, they're more compact. Anytime you want to go with like a green pumpkin or a watermelon, it's pretty simple. If there's not enough water in the bushes, you can actually skip any kind of frog, whatever your favorite frog is, way back in there. And believe me, they're in there.
I'm going to tell you something. There was one little creek we went into. Mm-hmm. You made 6 or 7 casts. You caught a fish every single cast.
Yeah, and sometimes the fish in there, you know, you might go into a little defined ditch, and it might be all little buck bass, you know, 12 inches long, and not all of those can get a frog down in the throat. But over the past week especially, I've gone into some areas, and you throw back there and you catch a little one, and you throw back there and catch a 6-pounder. Unfortunately, we didn't catch one of those 7 or 8s today.
We didn't.
But hey, we had a great time. We caught a lot of fish.
We caught a lot of fish. I guess we caught 25, 30 fish, but I had a blast today. I know that, I hope you did, because it was
Sure.
fun. We both got to learn some part of the lake that we'd never seen before.
Sure.
And that's always good.
Mm-hmm.
And do you highly recommend people to do that?
Absolutely. One of the biggest mistakes I think people make is that they always go back and fish the same thing. They're fishing history, they're fishing what they fished last year, and I've done that a lot in the past. And so one of the things I started doing last year is forcing myself to find a pattern in an area that I know well, and then taking that pattern and go to various places on the lake. And one of the great things about Kentucky Lake, if you're fishing Kentucky Lake or even fishing Barkley, there's hundreds of miles of shoreline and bays, and so you can fish it just never runs out. You know, you can start at Kentucky Dam and go south and go for 180 miles.
And it seems to be that every time, if you do set a pattern, it works just about everywhere you go.
Sure, absolutely. Kentucky Lake to me fishes like 3 different lakes. You've got the north end of the lake, the area above 68. The water's a little bit different. The lake is much larger, it's wider. And then you get in that area from, you know, the 68 bridge to down around Paris. And that, to me, fishes a lot different. And then you got south of Paris, down toward New Johnsonville, which has been a popular area. You know, we've had a ton of grass down in the New Johnsonville area and closer to the Paris Landing. And this year I hope it comes back like it was 3 years ago. But it's just been awesome. There's a lot of fish here, and you can catch fish anywhere you go out here. It's awesome.
Well, I tell you what, I have to say thank you very much, Ben Parker. This was a great deal. We had a good time. Joy and I both enjoyed your company, and you really are an excellent fisherman.
Oh, thank you.
And Billy Stanton is who put us together, and thank you very much, Billy. We appreciate that. But Ben, again, how can people get a hold of you? Because I know there's people out there that want to have just as good a time as we did. How do they get a hold of you?
Sure. They can go to parkersoutfitting.com. I have a website. We duck hunt on Reelfoot Lake, duck hunt in Canada.
We're going.
And we bass fish all over the country. So, and even on some of these lessons, I've actually gone to different lakes, whatever you prefer. Say you've got your favorite fishing hole and you really don't know what's down there, you know, if it's relatively close, I might be able to work something out where I can actually go to you, and we can sit around and scout out some areas, and I can help you interpret what's down under the water.
Well, now that's an awesome service right there, and we might just have to have you over at Old Hickory Lake.
I've been there before.
All right. Well, I tell you what, Ben, thank you so much. We had a great time. We're going to take it back to the studio now.